All right. Hey guys, Nate Zelinsky. Thanks for joining us today. It's that time where it's about finding elk. There's one right there. Small little 6. Just real small bull. Where's the other one at? Got a handful of elk right here. And we're looking at all kinds of them. We're sitting at a high point right here, and these are wintering herds right here. So they haven't been played with at all. We're probably the first people they've seen since maybe last hunting season. I'm actually in a truck right now, but with the lack of snow, we pushed through some rough stuff and got on the animals. So we want to talk here for just a second. So we're going to look at those bulls for another minute. But guys, it's all about making decisions right now. It is February, and the draw for Colorado big game is in early April. We have to put in for tags sooner than later. There's a whole new system. It's all integrated to online. So you have to create a profile. And again, you have to do everything ahead of time. So we're anticipating putting in for tags a little earlier than normal. Normally I wait until literally that last point, my literally deadline in April, to put in for a tag, strictly for the point and the fact of I don't ever want to miss opportunities. So I scout all spring. There's another bull right there. Same thing. I think the biggest one's this one right there. But I scout all spring. So I'll scout until April just to know if I missed anything. All of a sudden you find, you find where there's a giant bull, or let's say you see sheds. You can't shed hunt now in Colorado until May on public land. But let's just say you realize there's a big bull and there's an opportunity at a tag you want to put in for that. So again, I use all of the spring to look for elk. There's another one right there up on that hill. So I look for all that kind of stuff to put in for those tags. But in the situation of right now, we're going to put in a little earlier. So we're probably going to be putting in for March. So I am out here literally every day looking for these animals. I got my buddy Scott with me. Scotty, how big's that bull over there on that hill?
Just a little 4.
Perfect. Let's spin the chuck. Let's look at those real quick. Because we're going to leave these animals right here. Oh, wait, what's that one over there? One more second. Sorry for the shaky footage. All right, I'm going to spin it. All right, guys, so we're back on this side. This guy is starting up our Ford truck, moving around. So these bulls are literally, 200 yards ahead of us on that side. Phone's on the spotting scope. So, all right, now we're panning over here, and there's a lot of animals on this hillside over here. So we're gonna be looking around here just for a second. But I wanted to talk. So again, guys, we're in the field. We're not doing our live show this week because we're in the field. And again, the Colorado Big Game Book is out, talking about deadlines, talking about a new system. And we want to talk about that. So we're in the field looking at these elk right here. We got 3 bulls over here. We got a couple bulls over here. And there's more bulls over here. So about everywhere we look, we're actually on elk. Scotty here, you guys saw him. He does a lot of camera work for us in the fall hunting. He won the challenge this year of the Big Elk Award with that big RW bull. But either way, we're out here scouting. That's the thing we want to talk about. So again, with everybody making decisions, we preach this during our live show, and a lot of people have been talking to us about that. But everybody is like, hey, when do I put in for? What should I put in for? And for whatever reason, when hunting season ends, everybody bails. Everybody's done, and all of a sudden the draw comes in. It's March, April, and everybody's like, man, we didn't do good last year. We didn't kill big enough elk, or we didn't see elk, or whatever your goals are as a hunter, whether you're looking for cows, bulls, trophies. So many people didn't have the success they wanted. And all of a sudden, for whatever reason, the draw comes around and they're like, oh, let's change it up. And everybody puts in blind. Oh, I heard that this unit was good, so they put in there. Hey, I heard that, Scotty hunts this area, so let's put in for that tag. And they go in all blind. And obviously, if you draw the tag and you spend time scouting, you can probably make the most of it. But regardless, we are all about not putting in for anything blind. It is all about education and knowing you're on something good. So right now it's February. You technically have, you probably have 6 weeks to go out there in the field, find animals. Right now these bulls still have antlers. They have not dropped their sheds yet. So we're scouting. And I'll tell you, in these wintering herds, when these bulls are out in the wide open, I can pan it right there. I'm gonna flip it again because more animals just stepped out.
Let me move you again.
Yeah, pull me over. These bulls over here on this opposite hill are a little small, so we're gonna pan back here, but another one just stepped out over here to my side, right there. All right.
I can't see him.
Yeah, let me adjust the vortex optics. Another little broken horn bull. That one had a rough go. He had a lot of sparring going on. I thought he might have been a little bigger. Either way, guys, there's bulls everywhere. I mean, I'd say, let's pan back here. Scotty, you spend a lot of time out here this time of year as well as me. Yeah. I've been east of here just a little bit, but I think my best morning so far, we probably saw 400 cows and probably saw 40 bulls. What's a real busy morning for you bull-wise? What's a good count?
I'd put it somewhere in a 20 to 25 range.
So we're seeing, 20 to 25 bulls. We've seen 40 bulls on a crazy morning. But regardless, we see a lot of elk. And again, how many of you have been out in wintering herds? We talked about it, and we actually wanted to get in field to talk to you about it today. Just talking about the opportunity out there. So again, if you have not spent time looking at elk in their wintering herds, you're missing out. I know I'm as big of an ice fisherman and predator hunter as anybody. I do waterfowl. I spend a lot of time this time of year hunting other stuff and other opportunities. But you cannot let it go to the wayside. You can't miss these opportunities because again, right now you have to spend time in their wintering herds. So when we talk wintering herds, we're looking for animals in lower areas, a lot of times protected from crazy elements. So we don't find them in crazy deep snow. We find them in grasslands, and you are looking for areas where either it doesn't snow a lot and or the wind blows the snow off of those areas, to hopefully find these animals in, again, somewhat softer territory. So a lot of these bulls here are walking. I'm trying to keep an eye on them. So again, you're looking for these bulls in situations of anywhere where they can find grass and they're not just physically getting abused. So you don't see them in crazy terrain. That's kind of areas we're looking for them. I see them on a lot of southern hills. Again, just imagine it being a cold, rough winter. So anywhere where they can have nice, mellow terrain.
A lot of times this time of the year.
Oh, sorry. Go back.
A lot of times this time of the year, they're going to be eating a lot of the taller plant life trees.
Excellent. So a lot of aspen type stuff. What
aspens. You see, when I was shed hunting in the past before we had
Can't
to
do
wait
it.
till May or whatever, it was a lot of times you would find most of your antlers either on open hillsides or in the aspen trees, in the quakes, and that just tells me right there that's where they hang out. And you can actually walk around and find where they'll sit around these quakes and eat them, just like moose, all the way to the wooded layer.
So they're eating literally the white bark off of the aspen is what Scotty's talking about. So I mean, you'll see them, you call it elk bites, but you'll see the aspens where they're literally munching, and it's super nutritional. I mean, you look back at, Native Americans and everything else. I mean, aspen is a key form of life, and whether they're eating the leaves or the bark, people used to use it for sunscreen, the powder on it. I mean, aspen trees are a huge source of life, especially for these wintering animals. So you see that use a lot. So anywhere you have aspens, you're going to see these wintering herds. But I mean, you can see, here ahead of me, we're just looking at, turn that down a little bit. We're just looking at low-lying hills. You can see it. There's all kinds of this stuff, and there's elk in all of these draws. Now, obviously, we're cruising around real fast in trucks, just power glass. And again, we're not building patterns. We're not even thinking of, hey, how would we ever hunt these animals in, 6 months, 8 months? We don't care about it. There's just roads all over in here, and we're just cruising around strictly trying to say, hey, did we miss anything? Right now, I hunt, 4 or 5 different units. Scotty does the same. And everybody, again, tends to stick to their patterns. Hey, I know this area, so I'm going to hunt this area. And a lot of people, hey, whether it's my dad hunted this area. Again, there's a million reasons, but nobody's out here right now. I haven't seen anybody. I've ran into lion hunters. Scotty, how many people have you been seeing out here scouting?
I don't really see anybody looking
Nobody.
for animals.
Nobody's looking for animals. Why? Or did every single person have the most extreme success of their life last year, so they have the patterns? I doubt it. Scotty and I probably did as good as anybody that I know. We killed a big bull, Ricky, that we watched for hundreds of days. He killed a Scotty, with your friend, you killed a 390. You chase these big bulls. I mean, we had an amazing year on big animals, and we're still out here right now building the patterns. Because again, what if right now I see a 390-inch bull and I see a 400-inch bull? I know this is the area I want to put in for. But if all I see are those bulls that I don't want to chase, I'm going to move to the next area. But regardless, we're out here every single day scouting these animals. And through those scouting missions, we know what we're in. We know what survived. If they make it to right now, mid-February, if they survive this, we haven't had insane, weird storms. So when they make it to this point right now, more than likely they've made it past the rough stage. They make it through that rough December and January after a rut. They make it after the point where if they got wounded, having to survive through January. When they get to this point right now, I don't want to say it's spring, but more than likely, if they make it to right now, they're going to make it through the year, and they will be huntable animals this coming fall. So right now is when you need to get out there. Again, if you're watching this in Pennsylvania, make a winter trip. Come out here. I promise you, you will see more animals than you've ever seen in your life right now. We keep talking about it, but yet, where's everybody at? I don't see you. Nobody's here. It's just me and Scott and all the elk. So during these winter times, you have to get out here, find these animals. I promise you, you're going to see more than you've ever seen, because when they're in the winter herds, they're grouped up, they're exposed, they're out in the open, they're not in the timber, they're not in these dark, gnarly areas. They're right here out in the open. So again, right now, it's up to you. Get out, find these animals you're wearing herds, scout new areas, build a pattern, at least say, hey, I know there are tons of bulls here. I know there's tons of cows here. I know that the genetics are here to lead to an animal that I personally want to hunt. And you're going to apply for that area. Right now, look at the big game book. Let me throw that bad boy. Try new areas. If you're like, hey, I don't have any preference points, and I'm looking at the map right here, and I want to say, okay, what's over the counter? Hey, this is an over the counter type area. So find that map, find areas that are saying, hey, I can hunt this second and third rifle with no points. I can hunt it during archery with no points. Find those multiple units. There's a ton of them. Find those areas. Go there right now and say, okay, I've never been in, unit such and such. Let's go there because I know it's over the counter, and let's find out if there's elk there. Let's build a pattern to say, hey, if they're wintering here, obviously they live right over here on this steeper hill or above tree line or, whatever. But again, right now is when you build those patterns. Right now is when you make educated decisions before you fill things out. That's the big key. Before you're just going on a whim, before you're guessing, before you're doing what the rumors are, before you're doing what you assume, don't assume anything. Build education. So again, right now, get out in the field. We're going to go over to this next hill because, again, we saw 3, 4, 5 animals in this valley. We're going to go over one more valley, probably find 5 animals, go over the next valley, hopefully find 10 animals. But we're going to be looking out here. Scotty and I are on a quest to find a 400-inch bull this morning. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But regardless, I encourage everybody. Again, we're here in Colorado doing it, but you should do it in whatever state you're in if you haven't put in for a tag yet. Right now, while they still have antlers, right now, while they're in their winter patterns, are so easy to find. Right now, find animals that survived the winter, know they're alive, know that you're in the right area because you find a lot of animals, and that's the area you should be hunting this fall. So again, that's what it's all about. Scott and I are going to go over one hill, but again, we're out here. I hope next time we come out here, hopefully we see one of you. We don't want, we don't want to blow out our hunting spot, but it would be nice to know that other people care about animals as much as us. Because again, education, scouting, putting your time work is what puts animals in the ground. It just is what it is. So that's it. We'll be back here shortly to find more bulls. But again, we wanted to come live to you from the field. We're looking at a lot of animals. There's definitely some animals on that far hill over there. So, all right, guys, we're going to run over there, and we'll be back. But again, this session right here is brought to you all by Bowtech Archery. Huge thanks to Bowtech for sharing this and all the other feeds. Guys, it is all about that education, and shot a lot of this through our phone scope. So check it out.